Hello, everybody, and welcome again to another episode of the Author's Log. I'm Nyiko Furumele, the author of The Old Ones. If you guys find yourselves enjoying the content, please leave a like, subscribe, and also subscribe to actually see the journey up till launch day. But other than that, guys, let's get into it. Alright, so today what we're going to be going into and doing a deep dive is the structure of the entire franchise. Now, because the old ones is actually going to be releasing very soon, I won't be revealing too much because I want you guys to get it, enjoy it, have minimal spoilers, share it with your friends, all of that good stuff. But then I will be at least elaborating on the structure of the sequel, the third one, and the fourth one in the 4-book saga of the old ones. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so in regard to the old ones, the first book, the structure that I went for was one that was it was pretty straightforward initially. It was more of like a linear sequence of events, but then I was watching a YouTube video, and I don't remember what the person's name was, but I remember that they said that it could be interesting to go for more of a revelatory structure, in the sense that you start with things already in motion. You start from, like, let's say you wrote it in a linear way, but then instead of starting at chapter 1, you started like chapter 4, and then you restructure it in a way so that you show things already playing out, and then as the big reveal happens, because I'm not gonna say it, but as the big thing happens, then you reveal the context later as to what led up to these events and the sequencing of it. But yeah, switching gears, when it comes to the actual sequel, this is where things start to get a bit interesting, because I wanted it to take place in the exact same timeline as the first novel. So the sequel's actually called The Old Ones Battle Tendencies, and like I'm saying, it occurs in the same timeline as the first novel, but then it's from another character's perspective. A character who's also extremely integral to the franchise and who features in the first novel as well. But then in this one, it's more of a character study, and it's more of from the perspective of the villainous faction of the old ones, where we take a look at the darker aspects of human nature and what it means to transcend your humanity, whether you become a monster or a force for good. And for the third entry, this is where it's the build-up of an entirely different sort of arc and story, way more apocalyptic, way more finite, and this will wrap up the continuity of the main timeline of the franchise, and it's meant to be the end point of the series. And I decided to actually make it 4 books because I didn't want it to continue to keep sprawling and keep expanding, and I wanted it to have a definitive beginning and end. And last but not least, for the 4th installment, it's actually a prequel. So it's actually a story that explores the beginning of that divine era, and it's sort of like a creation myth at the start, showing exactly how these divine beings came into being and showcasing them in their golden age. And this book gradually leads to the first one, showing a lot of some of the other divine characters in the first book aren't as fleshed out, but then this book will it will attempt to flesh all of the characters out and show you more of these divine characters in the pantheon. And with that, it will be finished. But I have also been thinking of exploring an additional character for a 5th book, but one that just explores that character's own unique journey and their actual, it's more of it being a reinterpretation of that myth, because I just find it so fascinating. So I really found myself, if ever, I don't know if I'll do it or not, because right now I'm just focusing on the four books in the main series. But if ever I got that opportunity, I'd definitely love to write a story about that character. But yeah, guys, that's the end of the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys are okay. But that's me, Nyiko Furumele, and I'll be signing off. Peace.